welcome to the 10-0 podcast, Jessica. Go ahead and give your an introduction of who you are if people haven't heard about you.
My name is Jessica, and I am a calisthenics athlete. I am a former rhythmic gymnast. I also am a pole dancer and a hand balancer.
Yay! All the fun things in the world. So how would you say that gymnastics has affected, your life and who you are as a person?
I would say that it has taught me a lot in terms of discipline, in terms of being hardworking, and in terms of patience. I've noticed throughout my life that when I apply those things to school, for example, or anything else aside from rhythmic, it has definitely helped me become, better or, in school or just in general with how I am, in life.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Like I just noticed when I'm in school, for example, I apply the hard working aspect because, in gymnastics, you're either working hard or you're, not a gymnast because otherwise they'll just kick you out of the team. So,
Yeah.
you learn to apply that to other things, and work as well. Like if you're working, you are, disciplined, you're patient, you're hardworking as well.
Yeah.
So you apply it to everything.
Yeah,
Which,
so you take really the hard working part as well. I know a lot of the times it's also time management because, growing up or doing a sport, any sport, especially gymnastics, when you're in school, you have to balance practice. It's just like being a student athlete. You have to balance practice with your school or with, all of that. And so you have to figure out that time management. So, does that affect kind of how you balance your life as well, like time management, or is it mainly the hard working and the discipline? If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Time management, yes, but lately, honestly, I haven't been so good with my time management. It's always I leave everything to the last minute and
Yeah.
just get it done. But that
Yeah.
gymnast mentality is you have to get it done. If I don't get it done, it gives me anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Oh, that's really good. So, I mean, if people haven't seen your Instagram, they definitely should go there. But I want to know what motivates you to keep training the way you do and do gymnastics in public. Because I have that little fear of okay, if I do this, someone's gonna come yell at me and be like, oh, you can't do that because you're gonna get hurt and we're not responsible for that. And I just that. That's just a belief I have that limits me and stops me from doing it. But I know I could. So what motivates you to just be I got this and just do it?
so I mean, usually the places that I choose to do all that public stuff is usually far away from security to make sure that I don't get in trouble. I look around, I'm okay, there's no cops, nobody's gonna stop me. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go and quickly do my thing and then that's it and run away. But
Yeah.
I don't know, I just get motivated. Honestly, I see I see a challenge and I'm oh, that'd be so cool if I just went and did a handstand push-up on that thing right there. And then I look around and I'm okay, nobody's here. I'm gonna quickly go run over there and attempt it. And then I attempt it, I'm yes, success.
I did it. Oh, I love that.
I did it.
So you check your surroundings first, and then you also
Yeah.
have the certainty, just knowing that if you do it, you can do it, you're not going to fall. You have that ability that it's so ingrained in you that you can do it. So how does that confidence help you as well? Versus, oh, that'd be so cool if I could do that, but I'm just I don't know if I could hit it. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're going to try something harder, how does the
Mhm.
certainty help you do it?
So the thing that about it is I usually practice it at the gym that I work at, and I practice it on different elevations to challenge myself. And for example, I like to do my handstand push-ups on a bar, and I've gotten so used to doing it on the high bar at
Yeah.
the gym that I work at that now anything that's lower than that for me feels that's not that scary because I can do it so much higher. So
True.
that's why when I go outside, I'm okay, I'll start off low because it is outside. There are no mats and I can't you know, if I get injured, I get injured. So I figured, I'll start off low and then gradually
Yeah.
challenge myself until I'm okay, this is too high. I should probably get down.
Yeah. So I mean, that's That's amazing. Because so you're all about training like above a skill level that you need so that anything else becomes easier. Does that
Yeah,
sound accurate?
yeah.
Um, so how often do you train? Since you say you work at a gym, so I mean, obviously you get kind of like free reign in the gym. So how
Mhm.
often do you train yourself versus, training other people?
Honestly, I train 6 days a week, but it's not like intensive, like every
Yeah,
single day, super intensive. But
right.
I feel like I can't go a day without just like moving.
Doing something. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if I'm just sitting at home all day, I just feel so like, I don't know, just like sad. Like I need to go and like do
do life.
something. Yeah. And it can vary, it's not necessarily like I'm going and doing like calisthenics every single day. I can go
Right.
and like lift weights one day. I can go pull one day. I can go work on like
Yeah,
my hand balancing one day. So it's not like super intensive, crazy workouts 6 days a week, but
yeah.
I do tend to like work out basically every day, if not, yeah, 7 days a week sometimes.
And the cool thing about that is you have the cross training. You're not just doing one thing, so it feels like you're never doing the same thing. Almost like you get to switch it up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what probably keeps the fun.
yeah, I don't like sticking to one thing. In fact,
Uh-huh.
like lately, I've been actually like trying to do parkour because I'm like, you know what? I want to try something different. I want to try
Yeah,
something new, and I don't want to just like stick to the basics. I like to challenge myself. So,
I love the basics.
well, like basics in terms
Yeah,
of like for me, like it
yeah,
already feels like basic because I'm
yeah.
doing the same thing all the time. So I'm like,
You're
let me
doing what
just
you're good
step
at.
out of my comfort zone and do
Yes,
something else.
that's huge. So with regards to that and like mentality, because so many people, I'm guilty of this, is like doing what you're good at because you're good at it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
like you just said, you want to step outside your comfort zone. So
Mm-hmm.
mentality wise, what drives you to want to seek discomfort and that extra push of like, maybe I won't be good at this, but I want to try it?
Yeah. So for me personally is, although I do like to train a lot of different things, like I said, like I did, I'll train rhythmic one day and then
Yeah,
calisthenics, whatever.
yeah.
After a while, it does get repetitive and it does actually start to make it difficult for me to want to train. I start to lose motivation. And I'm
Mm,
like, I've done this before and I've done that before and I did
yep.
this. Like, I want to do something else. So, like,
Right.
for me, that's when that like drive comes in to like go and step out of that comfort zone and be like, you know what? I'm actually going to push myself for once
Yeah.
because I feel like now that I've gotten so comfortable doing the same thing over and over again, it no longer feels as challenging as it did from the start. So I like to go and do something different and be like, you know what, this is something I've never done. And I know that it's going to be challenging because it's, something very new to me. So I like and go step out of my comfort zone in that situation and just go for it and try something different.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And what's the reward from that? So like, it's challenging and it's new and it's different. And then once you prove to yourself that you can do it, like how do you feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. I'm like, wow, I can actually jump. Because, like, if you think about it to a certain extent, like calisthenics feels like mostly upper body work.
Mhm.
Pole dancing tends to
Yep.
feel like mostly upper body work. Hand
Yeah.
balancing,
Yep.
mostly upper body work. Parkour, mostly legs.
That's so true.
So for me, I'm like, oh my God, I have like zero like confidence in my legs. Like it feels like I don't trust my own legs. So
Mm.
when they say, "Oh, jump from A to B," I'm like, "Say what
But
now?
like
Like,
how?
what am I?" Yeah, I'm like, "How? How do you
Yeah.
just like jump from one rail to another rail?" They're like,
I
"Just
totally feel
gotta,
that.
yeah."
Yeah, so
So,
speaking of like before parkour, how did you I'm going off on tangents, but how did you train your legs? Because that was an issue for me too, because like you said, it's so much upper body and that kind of thing.
mhm.
Like what were you doing before parkour to cross train your legs?
So I also lift weights. So
Right.
I've been
Okay.
doing a lot of weightlifting and a lot of squatting, a lot of deadlifting, to help me build up the muscle mass and have like an even, body composition, whatever.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but like although I've been lifting weights for like 4 or 5 years already, it's still so different than doing, like plyometrics.
And functional
So
work, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, I can squat like a heavy weight, but I can't jump. Like, I mean, I can jump, but like I can't, jump from like A to B and feel confident just because
Right.
I have the strength in my legs. So it's
So
very different, but my legs are just for show.
I, I totally feel that. On Monday, I worked out with Michael Vasquez, and like he
Hmm.
like thrashed me. I'm surprisingly not sore. But we like did cardio and like sprints on sand, and I was like,
Hmm.
what is this? It's something else for like abs. And he was like, come on, move. And I was like, my abs are for show. I mean, like they're strong, but like I haven't conditioned them in the way that he does. I love that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a little while ago about like some days you feel unmotivated. So
Hmm.
like how do you handle those lulls and the frustrating training days, the exhaustion? Like how do you work through that? What do you tell yourself?
So for me personally, that is the most difficult thing that I actually go through as an athlete is I go through very long periods of like I wouldn't say like depression, but like I just feel extremely unmotivated to
Yeah.
the point where it feels like I'm just depressed and I just don't feel like doing anything at all.
Mm.
And um honestly, I would say that like when I reach like, you know, that like point where it feels like I'm at like rock bottom where like there's zero motivation. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do anything but sit at home and eat ice cream all
Yeah.
day. And watch romantic comedies.
Yeah. People can relate. We can all relate. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, like sometimes like the weirdest things will spark my interest. Like, it could be like somebody doing something on Instagram that was
Yeah.
like really cool. And I'll be like, you know what, that's really cool. I actually kind of want to try that. Or even sometimes music, like music helps me so much. If I hear a
Mm.
song that really inspires me or really makes me want to like move my body, I will like go and like I'll either pole to it, I'll do handstands to it, I'll,
Yeah.
whatever that song like puts me in the mood for, I'll go and do that.
That's
Um,
huge.
and also like this might sound like I don't know, like kind of lame or whatever, but like my favorite quote is keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So like no matter what, no matter how I feel, like I always tell myself to keep moving forward, and that kind of helps me like, get my ass up, go to the gym, go work out, go do something because, at the end of the day, like you need to like force yourself out of that mentality. It's
Right.
like very difficult to get yourself out of that like I don't want to do anything, type of mentality. So,
Exactly. And that
yeah,
action like creates the new emotion. So by you like
exactly.
forcing,
Yeah.
like you don't negotiate with your mind. Like your mind will be like, I'm tired and this and that. If
Yeah.
you like just say, when I say we go, we go, and like no negotiation,
Mhm.
you will do that action and then you will feel better because like I don't know anybody who regrets a workout. You only
Oh,
regret
yeah,
not
no.
working out.
Yep,
So
exactly. Exactly. And then
it's
once you start like feeling better, you start wanting to like, train more and like gradually with results,
Mhm,
seeing progression,
mhm.
you continue to remain motivated and like you get back on your grind.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly. Do you feel sore anymore? Or do you ever like
Yeah,
you do?
of course.
Okay. All
Like,
right.
okay, so like I did parkour, right?
Yeah.
And like I was like, I'm not gonna be sore. This is fine. I couldn't walk for like 4 days and my abs were sore as well
Oh
because like,
man.
jumping and tucking and bringing your knees to your chest requires a
Yeah.
lot of core strength.
Right.
I didn't think that I was gonna be so sore, but I was.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're used to like stability core versus like explosive core, probably. Because
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing a lot of like balance work and like just like pure strength versus that explosivity. I love that.
But like
Um,
you don't think about it, and then
exactly.
once that happens, you're like, oh, okay.
It's like playing with little kids. You're like, oh my God, I don't do this anymore. Like,
Yeah. But
how did I used to jump all the time? It's so true.
yeah, but it's an amazing feeling. Like it's
It
such a
is.
good feeling to know that like, wow, like these are muscle groups that I don't activate on the daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're doing something different. Like
Like,
people can look at you
yeah.
and be like, wow, she's like so in shape and incredible and strong and this and that. but every athlete has their own little like area where they don't excel, and that's like a weakness that they're trying to grow so they can be a well-rounded athlete. um,
Mhm.
and I love thinking about, that every athlete has a coach, no matter, like, the best athletes in the world have coaches, and those
Mhm.
coaches probably aren't as like good athletically as the best athlete in the world, right? But they still have a coach, someone to help push them and guide them. So this is just a question for you, like, who is your coach? Or they could just be like kind of an inspiration, someone that pushes you or motivates you to go further.
I personally don't have a coach, but I do have a lot of people that I'm surrounded by
Uh-huh.
who guide me in my training, and
Yeah.
it's such an incredible feeling to have people who care and want to help you succeed and
Yeah.
improve as an athlete. So I have a lot of friends who, in the calisthenics community, in the pole community, other people like who do parkour who are willing to like help me and guide me and, give me advice and tell me, hey, like this, like let me help you out. Like I see you're struggling on this. Like, do you mind if I give you a tip or two? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
please.
of course, of course.
So, yeah, with people like that, it's, I wouldn't say I have like one coach. I could say that I have, several people who
Yeah,
definitely help me grow as an athlete.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. So what advice would you give women who want to be able to do the things that you do, but like feel like they can't, or say, oh, I don't have upper body strength, so I can't do that? I hear that all the time in pole, and I'm sure you do too. It's like, well, then
Yeah.
you do pole, and then you build the upper body strength. But what is your advice for women who want to feel like an athlete or be able to do incredible things, but have some kind of like something that's stopping
Well,
them?
I would just say, do it.
Yeah.
Just go and do it.
Yep.
Don't hold yourself back. Just go and do it. So, like, okay, it sounds really simple, but let me tell you, it actually really is. You go and you look up the class that you want to take. So, like, for example, you want to do pole, and like that's
Yeah.
your dream. You've always wanted to pole. Go take a pole class. There's so many beginner pole classes. You
Yeah.
think that you're the only human in the world who doesn't have the upper body strength to do pole. You think I had the upper body strength to do pole? I came and I couldn't climb the pole on my first day.
I was the same. I was the same. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And even being, an ex-gymnast that did absolutely nothing for me, I still was really weak, and that's
Mhm.
completely normal. That is absolutely normal. That's, you're not going to come in and be a pro on your first day.
Yeah.
So
Of
I
anything.
would just say, yeah, exactly. Same with calisthenics. When I first started calisthenics, I could only do like 2 chin-ups. I couldn't do a single pull-up.
Mm.
And I was like, really weak, and that's totally fine because that's just how we all start. We all start somewhere, and then gradually, with training, with, patience, with, you know discipline, and telling yourself that you can, and you keep going and don't give up, you eventually gain the strength, and you're like, wow, I made it this far. I did it.
Yeah. How many years have you been doing each thing? Gymnastics, pole,
So,
calisthenics.
yeah, rhythmic gymnastics I did for 13 years. Then I started hand balancing,
Mm.
after I quit because I had this fabulous dream of being in Cirque du Soleil.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be in Cirque du Soleil.
You
Um,
could.
um, I don't know. I need a lot of training. um, yeah. So I did hand balancing. So let's say I started in 2012.
Okay.
So yeah,
7.
that's
Yeah.
like what, 7 years.
Mhm. Okay.
And then I started pole dancing in 2013, so that's
Mhm.
6 years. And then I
Same.
started calisthenics. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And then I started calisthenics in the end of like 2014.
That's true. Because I feel like I've been following you since those pole days, and then I
Yeah,
saw you like start to progress
gradually
through it. Yeah,
transition.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
yeah.
Well, the last question I have, and I asked to all of my guests on the Tenno podcast, is what does it mean, and what, in your opinion, to train like a gymnast?
Okay, so for me personally, I would say as a gymnast, we have been told the same like corrections over and over and over again, so it like becomes drilled in your head. So I
Mhm.
feel like training like a gymnast would be like any kind of sport we take on after, or anything that we do in general that we take on after gymnastics, all those, you know, comments that were drilled into our head, we apply them to our like daily life. Like, I don't know, something like, for example, like if we're doing a different sport, like I have this tendency of telling myself, point your toes, straighten your knees, arms
Yes.
straight, chin up, shoulders back,
Yeah.
chest open, like you have that drilled in your head for the rest of your life. And I feel like
Yeah.
you apply it. So it's like you become your own coach.
Yeah.
So it's like, I personally would say like train like a gymnast would be like you're basically like your own coach for the rest of your life. It's
Yeah.
like so embedded in your head.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it great. Like you learn to push yourself. Like you even like tell yourself like you can do this, you got this. Like push yourself, like keep going. You like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like that
That's so true.
mentality, and like you just hear your coach's voices in your head all the time. Or maybe
Yeah.
that's just me and I'm crazy. I don't know.
No, it's so I think a lot of gymnasts can relate to that, and even like athletes in general who played a sport, like if
Yeah.
you're training at least, I mean, at least 15 hours a week for your sport, like you're with that coach and they become like your second parent. So it's like you're
Yeah.
being raised and you hear that. Just like you can hear your parents' voice, you hear
Exactly.
your coach's voice, and I think that's totally true. This was
Yeah.
incredible. It was a lot of value packed in here, a lot of good points, and I can't wait for you know for everyone to get to know who you are, and I can't wait to edit this and share it. So, so to sign off, go ahead and just give where people can find you, get a hold of you, and see what you do.
Thank you everyone so much for listening, and you can find me on my Instagram, which is russian.r3d, and if you want to see my content, you can come visit my page. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yay.